Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Logan Cross,
I'm Fire Troy.
and today, welcome back to the 13th edition of the T&C Sports Podcast.
Yeah, today, guys, we got a lot of important news about NFL, NBA, and I'm gonna let my co-host start it off for you guys today.
Yes, sir, we got a bunch of big details coming from the NFL and the NBA, especially surrounding James Harden. That's what we're going to start off first. Just recently, about 30 minutes ago, Bleacher Report put out saying that the trades have reopened and are heating up. Not only that, the 76ers have become open to trading Ben Simmons for James Harden. Now most of those trades are kind of at a standstill right now, but they slided Ben Simmons and now they're open to trading him. What do you think the Sixers are thinking? Trading a young asset. I mean, I know James Harden's the best player in the league, but how do you assess that?
Honestly, if I was Philly, I wouldn't trade Ben Simmons. I mean, Ben Simmons, you could honestly like teach him how to shoot three, shoot mid range, and he's good at anything else. Assists, rebounds, points. He's good at everything. But I think if you were Philly, I think that's a bad idea because Harden kind of regulates what he does and kind of what like how people like think of him like around him as, and I just believe that's kind of bad tension and like a bad a bad player to add to the organization.
Yeah, I mean Ben Simmons, is a great young player. I would definitely, I don't know, it's close. Like James Harden is a superstar level player, and if you're trying to win now, definitely go grab him. But Ben Simmons has a potential to be like a LeBron. Like a lot of people comparing him to LeBron. He has a similar play style. Bron's obviously a better shooter, but Ben Simmons can work on that. Ben Simmons could improve his jump shot as he's been trying. I know it's been a few years, but he still has a lot of potential to make his jump shot, better. But I say if they're in win now mode, 100% go for that trade. James Harden, obviously kind of wants out of Houston. So if I was Houston, I'd probably take that trade. I would definitely take that trade considering, Harden wants out. And whenever his contract's up, I'm not exactly sure when he's probably going to leave if he's not traded by then. So I would take whatever I can get. And you're getting a superstar young talent. So I'd take it immediately. No questions asked. But this is not the first case. I saw this come out. I forget where it was on. I saw it on Instagram from one of those big sports accounts. Harden last year, when they had Chris Paul, before they got Russell Westbrook, he did the same thing. He threatened to like be traded. Like he said, if you don't go sign or trade Chris Paul for Russell Westbrook, I'm gonna leave. He basically is doing the same thing he did last year, except this time, the media found out about it and it's all publicized. So I don't know. That kind of shed some bad light on James Harden. He's especially what else is going on with him. He's looking like a bad teammate. What do you like? What would you be if you were just a teammate of James Harden?
So off the court, I'll believe like he's good at community service. He's good at really like having fun, doing like what he likes to do. But as a teammate, I would think he's the worst player, like or the worst teammate on earth. And I'm gonna add on to what you were saying about him with the team. So something came out yesterday. I don't know if you saw this, but it was somewhere. I think it was on Bleacher Report. It was on like Sports Center or something. But the assistant coach, the old assistant coach for the Rockets, and Russell Westbrook, was saying that the whole team travel and the whole team like practice schedule was around Harden. He kind of really managed when practice was, when they left away games, when they like what jerseys they're wearing, and like and most of like everything like trying to what is it? The whole organization.
Yeah, that's not the only thing I saw. I saw that Harden would go on like a 1 to 2 day, like he would leave and like not be heard of. But they said that it was okay because he would come back and drop them 50-point triple doubles. Which it's a trade. It's kind of like the Dennis Rodman thing. If you saw the Michael Jordan documentary, you give and you take, and Harden's that level of a player where you don't want to make him mad, so you're gonna give him that leeway to go out and do that. Yeah. So Harden's, I don't know how to feel because I think he's thinking too much about himself. Like he thinks he's above everybody else, even though talent wise he may be, but that's just kind of messed up to the rest of your teammates and the organization. Like I don't understand. I could never think like that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There was I can't remember what I was gonna say. It was something about Harden as well, but if I remember, we'll come back to that. But let's get to the other big news. Giannis signed a supermax extension. It was 5 years, $128.2 million, which is the biggest contract in the NBA history. It's about a little bit more than 45 million a year, which surpasses, I believe, Russell Westbrook was first.
Yeah,
And
correct.
there might have been somebody else who was a little bit in front of him. But, still amazing contracts. If I'm a Bucks fan, I'm ecstatic. Giannis was kind of on edge about this decision, but they got him to sign. And what do you think the future holds for Milwaukee?
I think it's going to be downhill in my honest opinion because like Giannis, players don't look at the team or the money perspective like all them big stars. I believe they look at, oh, what city am I going to live in and what can I do in this city? Milwaukee is not a great place to party and to have a, like a steady home and a steady like atmosphere. It's just not. And the team as well, the team is not developed yet. It's not really a team that you could take to the NBA finals and win. I believe that was a bad decision with Giannis. I mean, I saw what Giannis said. He was like, "Oh, I don't want people to burn my jerseys." But it's like, do you want people to think of you as just a Milwaukee Buck, or do you want people to see you as a MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year, an NBA champion? That's really what he has to look at. Not, oh, I want to be loyal to this city and not get my jerseys burned.
Yeah, I mean, if he wanted a ring, Milwaukee's obviously they've been the number one seed I think the last 2 years, but they've proven in the playoffs that they can't win. This year against the Heat, and I forget last year. I think it was probably Boston. No, against the Raptors last year, who eventually won the championship. But Giannis, the NBA teams, have strategies to stop him in the playoffs, and we've seen, especially the last 2 years, in the playoffs, teams guard him well, and he doesn't perform as an MVP should in the playoffs. So, I mean, I don't know if I'm glad he stayed and he didn't leave to go make a super team. But if I was worried about my legacy, I would probably have left out of there. The Heat weren't a bad option. You know, Obviously the Bucks are trying to make moves this offseason, kind of build around Giannis as they did with Drew Holiday, and they tried to get Bogdan Bogdanovic or Bogdan.
Yeah.
I've mispronounced maybe, but you know what I'm trying to get at. Which didn't work out sadly. But I also saw that he tried to recruit Bradley Beal and Victor Oladipo, which I don't think it will work for Bradley Beal. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying? Because I think we got Bradley Beal under contract for at least another 2-3 years. But Oladipo, I could definitely see him, going to Boston next year. I think he's got one more year on his deal.
Yes.
Not 100% sure. I could definitely see him going out of Milwaukee, excuse me. And that would be a duo I'd love to see: Drew Holiday, Oladipo, and Giannis. That'd be awesome to see. Hopefully they could get some talent. No hate, I've always kind of liked Giannis. He's never done really anything to make me mad, player wise. I do remember he dropped like 50 on the Wizards, and I was kind of blown about that, but can't do much about that. And also, I know I don't know if you heard about this, but Gordon Hayward is day to day. He broke his finger in a preseason game. That's nothing too serious. Just wanted to, kind of throw that out there. I think it was his pinky finger on his right hand. So not too serious. Maybe it'll affect his shooting, but players, especially like players, can play with broken fingers. It's not a big deal. Another thing is Drew Holiday. I saw this online. Is expected to sign a $30 million deal next season, probably with Milwaukee. Do you think he deserves a $30 million per year from any team?
Now it depends on how many points he really scores in Milwaukee. Honestly, since he has a family and his like his wife is a big deal, I just do not think you should stay. In my honest opinion, like if you honestly do not win this year in Milwaukee, I would go to a high market team. I believe he is worth $30 million in my honest opinion. I believe he's worth that because when his time in Pelicans, his defense is incredible. Assist incredible. He could score 20, 21 points a game all year round. I just believe he's worth that. I just believe no team will give him that opportunity to make that much money.
Yeah, now obviously we just saw Gordon Hayward get 30 million a year, so that'll make a lot of people think that Drew Holiday deserves 30 million. And in my opinion, I think Drew Holiday is a better player than Gordon Hayward, but I think Gordon Hayward is overpaid. So if I was the Bucks, I would offer him, even though he might not accept it, I would offer him anywhere between 20 and 25 mil a year. You know, maybe like 28 at the most. I mean, I guess that's not too much of a difference, but 30 mil is a lot, and they could use that extra 5 to 10 mil to kind of stack up their bench. Even though their bench is, solid, but they could always use improvements along the bench. So, and Drew Holiday, I'm not sure how old he is, but he's not too young. So, kind of weigh your options there. I'd like to see what happens though. So we'll see. We'll see how he plays. Obviously, a lot of it will depends on how he plays. As you said. So I don't know. I think he could average 20.6 assists. I don't know though, because he's gonna be like the third scoring option with Middleton there. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Should be fun to watch him though. I totally forgot they had Middleton until we started talking about them still.
Yeah.
So that's a good trio to watch too. I know the Houston Rockets also got a little bit more drama on there, and Chris Clemens tore his Achilles. Prayers up to him. He was a great young player. Sad to see. It was really unfortunate. He hit a three, was going back on defense, kind of planted to step up, and couldn't plant, and he got helped off the court. Just prayers up for him. Hopefully, he gets a speedy recovery. And he was a great shooter that the Rockets had. Hidden. He was like a hidden gem. It's sad to see. Oh yeah, and some of the preseason games started, and I don't know if you saw, but Kevin Durant played in his first game back, and he had 15 points, 3 rounds, and 3 assists against my Washington Wizards. And he looked good. His first basket was a dunk. I believe he shot very well. I think it was probably like, I don't know, like 6 for 8. He didn't miss much, and he looked good. And I'm excited to see him back in action, especially with Kyrie. How well do you think? How well do you anticipate KD to play this season?
I think he's gonna play probably not the best. He's not like it's gonna be like his MVP self. I believe he's gonna be like a 25, 26 point like a game player. I believe Brooklyn's gonna go far. I just believe he will honestly be the most improved player, obviously, but he might be that unstoppable where he becomes MVP.
I could definitely see him putting up MVP numbers. I do agree with you. I think he'll average like 26, 27 points. Him and Kyrie are obviously going to be the main two options. And I think Kyrie's going to do well as well. Everybody knows Kyrie's one of the best bucket getters in the league, one of the best handles in the league. What do you expect from Kyrie Irving coming up this season as well?
I expect him to average 29.
29. Now that'd be deadly. Hey, this could be Kyrie Irving could gun for the MVP as well. Especially if the Brooklyn Nets get a top seed and he's averaging, up towards the 29. That'd be awesome to see. I personally think he'll probably average around 24, 25. That's how much he averages basically, most seasons. So we'll see. I could definitely see him, breaking out and having a big season like that because he's still, pretty young. He's like 27, 28. So, they'll be fun to watch as well. They got a deep bench and great starting lineup. So, as in the same game, Wizards rookie Denny Avija, he went 6 of 6 from the field. I just wanted to say that. He had 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists in his first game. And they're actually playing right now, the Washington Wizards. So I'm not too sure what the score is. I just know it started at 7 and it's 7:30 right now. So we'll see how that goes. But he looked good, and some of the other rookies looked very well as well, as such as LaMelo. A lot of hype was going around LaMelo. Anthony Edwards looked pretty good. And then I know you, Talon Horton Tucker. He dropped a 30-point, game against the Clippers in preseason. I know it's just preseason, but it's good to see these young guys kind of try and earn a spot on these teams.
Yeah.
Let's see. And now I did see this. Luka Doncic is now the front runner, like in the MVP odds. Do you expect him to go out there and win the MVP, or do you think somebody else is going to earn it this year?
I believe he can. I honestly believe he can because he's gonna get better and better as years go on. And I just believe with him in Dallas with Porzingis being out like the first month and a half of the season, I believe he will be a 30 point a game player. And honestly, like Dallas is his kingdom. I mean, he can do whatever he wants there. Like he's an amazing player. And I honestly believe he can win MVP.
Yeah, I do think, he might even go out there and average a triple double. He's one of those players that could easily do that if he puts his mind to it. And if he leads Dallas to a top 5 seed, the MVP is really his. The only other person I could see winning it, besides Giannis will probably be there most years. I would really love to see Stephen Curry win. I've said this before on the podcast. Um, I said this before as well. Steph Curry is one of the reasons I started, really loving basketball. So I've really been rooting for him. I really hope he gets that MVP, 3-time. Kind of got robbed from a Finals MVP a few years back, maybe twice. But hey, Steph Curry, we'll see how he goes. I could also see maybe if James Harden, comes back to the Rockets. Hey, Harden always is up there with the points, so he should always be in the conversation. Hey, maybe even LeBron. He was second this year, and we'll see. All right. Well, the NBA season starts December 22nd. So what's today? Hey, by the next podcast, some of the games will be started. We'll either record that the 22nd or the 23rd or the 24th. So it'll be out then, and we'll talk about some of the games that happen, and the Christmas Day games are the day after. So we'll talk about that then. But for now, let's get right into football, right into the NFL. So let's talk about our teams first. Fayed, your team got a little butt whooping, gave a little butt whooping, excuse me. What did you see in that big win? I mean, I know it was the Jets, but it was a big win considering what happened the previous weeks. What do you take out of that game?
This game was a good for our self-esteem. I mean, we needed a win after our bad loss to the Giants. I mean, that was a great setup game for our game this week, man. We have a tough game to play on Sunday. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be outdoors. So I mean, I'm just I'm just ready for it.
Yes, sir. Hey, that should be a good game. But before we'll talk about the game after we talk about the Washington football team's big win we had this weekend. We played the 49ers at 4:25 on Sunday afternoon, and for our offense, I can't really speak much for. It really wasn't there. Our offense really did not do jack. Really didn't, except for some field goals. But hey, Alex Smith, he did go down with a little calf strain. He's expected to play this week. It's not 100%, but if not, Haskins is apparently ready to go. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. We'll see. But our defense went extremely crazy. They had 2 touchdowns. Cameron Curl had a pick 6, and then Chase Young had a fumble recovery. So that was awesome to see. Our defense really just came out and won us that game. There's no question about it. Our defense, I mean, it's usually sad when your defense puts up more points than your offense. And they did that. They had 2 touchdowns. Our offense had a bunch of field goals. So, hey, I'm not going to complain, though. We got a big win. We're now first in the NFC East. And we got a big game coming against Seattle. Fide, what do you think Seattle has to do to, beat the Washington football team on Sunday?
I believe our running game will not work because, dude, the Washington football team's front line is just amazing. I just honestly believe we need to really get like a lot of play actions. Like honestly, like some deep throws because we have not had a deep throw. Russell Wilson has not thrown a deep ball in I'm gonna say 2 games, and we just love to see it. We love to see them one-on-one type plays. We love to see it. I love to see if DK get over 100. Lockett needs a little push because DK is kind of taking him I feel bad for Lockett because honestly DK Metcalf is kind of taking his shadow away from Tyler Lockett, and I just need Lockett to have a decent game so we could at least try to get this win. Honestly.
Yeah, it should be I think it'll be a pretty close game. As you said before we were on the podcast, Seattle is usually their games are pretty close. The last win was pretty much their first blowout win of the season. But I'm looking for Terry McLaurin to have a good game, especially against the weak Seattle secondary. And as you said, you guys got some big, tough wide receivers. In our corners, sometimes they have bad games where they get burnt. Yeah, we have pretty solid corners, with Kendall Fuller and Ronald Darby, and then we have a young emerging safety in Cameron Curl, who played really well last week. And then obviously, as you said, our D line is amazing. I'm not worried about defense. Yes, Seattle might put up a bunch of points, but that might be just because our offense can't move the ball and it's giving it back to them. And our defense can't be out on the field the whole game. Our offense has to waste time and keep Russell Wilson off the field if we want to, stay in this game, which they have been doing recently. Even though we went up against a below average quarterback last week. And who did we play before? Big Ben's a good quarterback. I'm not going to downplay him, but it'll be a real test. Russell Wilson's a quarterback we have not played this season. We have not played a quarterback like Russell Wilson this season. So it'll be an interesting, fun game to see. Hopefully we could stay close and pull it at the end. That's really how we've been winning some of these games. We keep it close, and then we, pull in the win in the second half. So I would not be surprised if you saw us get down 14-0 in the middle of the second quarter, because that's what we tend to do the last two games. Well, actually not against the Niners, but we did it against the Big Ben. We did it in the first game of the regular season, even against Philadelphia. So we'll see. Should be a good game. I don't want to get my hopes up. We are on a 4-game win streak though. So hey, we could pull it out. We got a lot of momentum on our sides. Hopefully our offense I'm really just mainly worried about our offense. And Gibson's most likely out. We did pick up Lamar Miller though. I don't know if he's going to get a lot of touches, but he is a good running back. Or at least back in the day was a great running back for Houston. So we'll see how that goes. And we'll get to that game next week. We'll definitely that'll be a big talking point next week on our show. The next thing I want to talk about was the Browns and Ravens game. Was possibly the game of the year. Man, that was a great game. I know Seattle's been in a few game of the years this year, but this one was, awesome to see. What'd you think about that game, man?
Dude, that was an amazing game to watch. I mean, you could see the Browns have just become a whole new team like overnight. I just don't because in the beginning of the season, you just see like them blowing leads and they just don't know how to play. But like I saw this dude on this podcast where he was like, after Odell was out for the season, Baker Mayfield and the whole team has been on better terms and in a better record than they've ever been.
Yeah, and I don't know if I said this on this podcast, but I was definitely thinking that now with OBJ out, I kind of thought they'd be a little bit better. And they've proven me right. They've proven, a lot of people wrong in the fact that now they're a great team. And yes, they did lose, but honestly, if they would have won that game, I think they would have won the division. I think they could have overtaken Pittsburgh and won that division. But, now it's kind of out of the question. Even though Pittsburgh has lost 2 in a row, but they're playing Cincinnati this upcoming week. So it's not impossible, but, it's kind of tough. Now, what are they, 9-4?
Yes.
So it'll be kind of tough. They need Pittsburgh to lose one more, which they could. But I think if they finish with the same record, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be on top because of the divisional record. So it really doesn't really matter at this point unless the Steelers lose out, which, I mean, they may lose 2 of the games, but they're not going to lose this week against Cincy. So we'll see. But as for the Ravens, they stepped up and won a big game when they needed it. If they would have lost this game, their playoff hopes would have, been very little. But now they got an easy schedule finishing out the season. So it's looking really good for them. And then I just want to bring up that Lamar play when he came back from the locker room after having cramps. I'm gonna agree with him. He had cramps, maybe. Maybe he pooped. I don't know. But hey, that was kind of tough. The storyline behind it was tough. He was hurt, came back, ran on the field for a 4th and 5, came in and threw a touchdown, gave him the lead, and ultimately won them the game. Well, didn't win them the game, but put them in position to win the game, which was awesome to see. And then, both quarterbacks played extremely well, which, a lot of people were kind of hating on both quarterbacks. A lot of people say Lamar is questionable. They're not buying into him. And the same with Baker Mayfield, and they proved both teams wrong. But all I know is both teams, their defense has some work to do. They let up a lot of points. I'm not sure who each team plays. Let me look real quick. Cleveland plays the Giants, and then Baltimore plays the Jags. So they both got some hopefully Cleveland can pull out against the Giants. But they both have some pretty easy matchups. Hopefully they can take care of some business for the Washington football team and
Yeah.
beat the Giants. Anything else you want to say on that game?
No, but I want to add one thing. So in the beginning, guys, we were talking about the James Harden and Ben Simmons. So like Lo was talking about on Bleacher Report, the 76ers president just said we are not trading Ben Simmons.
Okay.
So that whole Philadelphia James Harden situation is dead.
Wow.
I just wanted to say.
Hey, I mean, I could agree with the owner on that. That's crazy. Breaking news. Hey, hopefully the other stuff was true about the trade talks heating up, and if Harden wants out, hopefully he gets out. We'll see. We'll see how it unfolds. But back to NFL. Jalen Hurts won his first career start against a great New Orleans Saints team. Yes, they're without their starting quarterback, but they still got a great defense, and they jumped out of the gun and got a 17-0 lead. I'll read you a stat line. He was 17 of 30, 167 yards and 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. And he also had 106 rushing yards. So what was your take on that, his first game as a starter?
I believe that kind of ruined Carson Wentz's his time in Philly as a starting quarterback. Jalen Hurts performed amazing. I think he did okay on Sunday. I believe he's gonna do even better in the future, and probably this Sunday. He's an amazing runner. He does not throw any bad passes or anything like terrible. And I believe he kind of made a statement to tell everybody, "Hey, I got drafted late, and I believe I should have got drafted way before this, and I'm the guy." When you want to see on TV, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely went out there and proved a lot of people wrong. I wasn't exactly sure how he was how he was going to play, but he didn't turn the ball over, and they got the job done against a great team, and it was a much needed win because I think if they would have lost, they would have maybe been eliminated. Well, maybe not technically, but their playoff hopes would have been super, super low. But he ran the ball 18 times, which is crazy. But hey, got the job done. They did almost blow the lead, but they finished it out, got the big win. And next week, they're gonna play. Who they play? Oh, I didn't pick them.
they play somebody at home. I just don't know who.
They play Arizona.
Oh yeah.
So Arizona should get the job done. But hey, that'll be a fun matchup: Kyler Murray versus Jalen Hurts. Next up, Pittsburgh dropped its second game in a row versus Buffalo. Yes, Buffalo's a great team, but if I'm a Pittsburgh fan, I don't know how confident I am going into the playoffs. Pittsburgh technically had no bye week this year since it was kind of moved to COVID because of COVID. So, are they tiring out? And do you think they'll be okay come playoffs?
I don't because they have Buffalo on their tail for the second seed. I just don't think they're really great right now because first of all, Joe Hayden is in concussion protocol. He's badly injured with his head. I don't know if he's gonna come back next week or playoff time. I think it is tiredness too because they didn't have no bye week as well. But I just think they need to regroup and try to see what they can do to really pump their team up to probably win games or like in the playoffs,
Mhm.
like and such.
Yeah, and they were probably really gunning for that, first seed to try and get that bye week,
Yeah.
in the first round. But now that they moved it, so only one team has it, and they lost, and the Chiefs now have that one spot. It's really gonna hurt them, especially come playoff time. Think about it; they still have 3 more games to play
Yes.
in the regular season, and then they got the playoffs. So I don't know. We'll see how it affects them. Through the last 2 games, it's affected them kind of a lot. But hey, it'll be interesting to see. They could be a big disappointment starting 11-0 and then dropping 2. Next up is that the Arizona Cardinals came through and destroyed the Giants. Thank you. I know you didn't want Arizona. Well, do you want Arizona to make the playoffs? I know you're
No.
you're a Seattle fan, but do you like watching Arizona?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
But
yeah, I like watching Kyler Murray a lot. I mean, like runs around. He's a
yeah,
great.
so that win gave Arizona the 7 spot, I believe, maybe the 6 spot. Because Minnesota lost to Tampa Bay, so Minnesota fell out and Arizona took their spot. So big win for Arizona, big loss for the Giants. Now we have the lead in the NFC East because of that. So that was great. Meeting to do this. Oh yeah. So the owners are meeting. They're gonna meet and discuss an expansion to the regular season that's gonna start in between the 2021 and 2023 season. Um, they're planning to add one more game to make it 17 games. So it'd basically be an 18-week season with the bye week. So what do you think? How are you thinking about that? I don't know how much it's gonna affect, but they're most likely gonna add one more game. I'm not really sure how it's gonna affect teams.
I think if you add one more game, I think you would give players more money or more rest because, I mean, honestly, like if they honestly would add another game, I would put like games on like a Wednesday or like a Thursday, like I went like a Wednesday or like a Friday, so they can give more time to rest and have their bodies like heal.
Okay. Hey, I'm not gonna complain about them adding another game because hey, I love football. I love watching football. Um, I don't know how this is gonna affect fantasy football. That'll be interesting to see. But hey, I'm not gonna complain if they want to add it. You know, add it. Just might be a little more stressful on the players, and their bodies, considering they already go through a very difficult 16 game season. But hey, should be fun to watch. I'm not sure how they're gonna decide who that extra game is gonna be played against. Maybe it'll just be a random team. Um, but I'm all for it. I'm not gonna complain for some more football.
Exactly.
And hey, this is a little bit fantasy football news for me. Christian McCaffrey is expected to miss this week as well. So hey, that's good for me. And I mean, this is probably going to put an end to Carolina's playoff hopes, even though they're already 4-9, I believe. But they're most likely going to lose this week to Green Bay, and they're going to fall out of the playoffs. Oh yeah, and this has to do with the playoffs. The NFL is not going to mandate a bubble. You know how the NBA had a bubble? They're not going to mandate a bubble for the NFL playoffs, but they are going to make it so that if the NFL teams want to, they can put all their players in one hotel, so they don't go out and get infected and, spread the virus. What do you think about that? Do you think the NFL should have, made a little bubble environment, or do you think the teams are trustworthy enough to where they won't kind of catch COVID?
Because honestly, I think they should do like a little bubble because with playoffs is very important because they're running into other seasons of sports, and that could really mess with other companies and different leagues like money and like advertisement. But yeah, I mean, I think they should do a bubble because the NFL people want to see the games on Sunday or Saturday. That's really their days that they want to watch football, and them just backing it up is I don't think that's a great idea for them to do, like to honestly do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a big problem with it, but it would definitely be safer to put them all in one environment and kind of like the NBA, limit the spread and the infection of the virus. But hey, if it works, it works. We'll see. So far this season, there's been a couple teams that have really got it bad. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. Got like 2 more things. I just wanted to say this: the Jaguars are going to start Gardner Minshew this week. Which, hey, I love Gardner Minshew. I think he's an underrated quarterback. Yes, he's young too, but I'm excited to see him start this week. I'm forgetting who they played. They played Baltimore Ravens, so that should be a good game. And then, hey, I know you know this one, but your boy Jamal Adams broke the NFL record for the most sacks in a season, man,
Sir.
from a DB. He had 8.5, I believe. Is that right?
Yes.
Hey, man, that's looking to be a good trade, man. How was and he's been out a few games. That's what's crazy.
He's been out 4 games.
Hey, he could. Who knows, bro? He could have had 10 by now. That's awesome, bro.
Yeah. I mean, dog. I mean, he's a great player. I mean, if he's not all pro safety, bro, I don't know who is. I'm an honest opinion, dude. But I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. that was a great trade because like we sent Bradley McDougal out to the Jets. Man, he came and played with us, bro. That dude has no interceptions, and I mean I feel bad for him, but I think them picks are amazing to give away for like a great caliber player like Jamal Adams.
Yeah, man. Y'all needed some help on the defense this year. And even though there's a lot of weak spots, that was one great pickup y'all really needed. So hey, let's what was I gonna do? What are we gonna get into? Look at some scores. Let's pull this up. What was I gonna do?
The what is it? Well, the playoff thing.
Playoff thing. Yep. Sorry, guys. We're gonna look at the playoff seeds and kind of go through each team that has a playoff spot right now, and figure out how we think they're gonna finish off the regular season. So let's start with AFC. I believe, the Chiefs and the Pittsburgh already have a spot locked up. Bills at 3, Tennessee Titans at 4, Browns at 5, Colts at 6, and Dolphins are hanging there at 7. What teams do you think, are gonna either make the playoffs and disappoint, make the playoffs and surprise people, or what are you thinking from this picture?
So, Tennessee, I see Tennessee staying at 4. I see Buffalo jumping to number 2 and Pittsburgh falling to 3. I see Miami coming out of that 7 spot. I see Baltimore going in. And yeah, that's really like how I'll see the standings.
Yeah, man, I could really see that. I'm not even gonna lie. I agree. I do think the Bills are gonna take that number 2 spot from Pittsburgh. Tennessee, they have a better division record than the Colts, so I do think they're gonna hang on to that 4 spot. Cleveland's gonna stay. Colts, they're gonna stay. And then I gotta agree with you, man. From all the way, I think Miami. I really want Miami to make it. Don't get me wrong, but I do think because of Baltimore's schedule, they're gonna get in at that 7 spot. So some of the matchup. Let's look up at some of the matchups. So it would be if we're right, Buffalo would play the Ravens.
Yes.
Pittsburgh would play Colts, and Tennessee would play Cleveland. What do you think those matchups would turn out to be?
Now, Buffalo and Ravens, I would see Buffalo moving on to the next round in that one. Colts and Pittsburgh, I would see the Colts winning that as well. Tennessee and Browns. I mean, Browns whooped them this last time. I mean, I'll probably give it to Tennessee because I know Tennessee not going to lose twice in a row to the same team.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you for all of them, except I actually think the Browns are going to surprise some people in the playoffs. So I'm going to take Cleveland in that, even though it's very unlikely that they could beat them twice. I do think they are going to surprise some people and maybe even, get past that second round. But, after that, let's get to the NFC, which is, also pretty interesting. We got the Packers at 1, Saints at 2, Rams at 3. Oops, I just clicked one of the players. Let me back out. Dang. Sorry about that, yeah. All right, let me get back to it. All right, let's get back to it. Rams at 3, Washington at 4, Seattle at 5, Tampa Bay at 6, and Arizona rounding off the end at 7. What do you think about this conference?
I see Arizona going to 8. I see Minnesota going to 7. I see Tampa staying at 6. I'm hoping that New Orleans loses on Sunday so they can go to number 3. Rams can go to number 2. And then next week the Packers can lose and we can go to number 1. And then if we win, we can go to number 1 seed. That's what I'm hoping for. But in reality, I think we'll stay at 5. I think the Saints will drop to 3. I see the Rams going 2, and then I see Packers going at 1.
Okay. I honestly think the only thing that's going to change is I think Seattle's going to take over that 3 spot. Now, I think you and the Saints are going to finish with the same record, but I believe they have a tiebreaker over you just because their division record is undefeated.
Shoot, my bad.
No, you're good, bro. And then I think y'all are going to have that 3 spot. So let's just go off, the matchups. If, mine's a little bit simpler to, picture out. So let's just go off mine. So it'd be New Orleans versus Arizona, Seattle versus Tampa Bay, and Washington versus the Rams. What would you picture in those games turning out?
So with the defensive, okay, honestly, with the Rams defense, dude, I'm sorry, but I don't know how your offense could score. I just don't. With Dwayne Haskins and Aaron Donald coming at him and Ebukant and Everett, I just do not see your offense scoring. I just feel that way about it. And then you said you said Arizona and who?
Arizona versus the Saints.
Oh, I believe Arizona is gonna come up as an upset. And then us in Tampa, dude, I see Tampa beating us.
Really?
I mean I do because Tampa has a great offense and a great defense, bro. I don't think our defense can stop Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Antonio Brown. I just don't.
That game will be a shootout. So for me, I'm just gonna go ahead and take Washington. Our defense is obviously crazy. I think it'll be a low scoring game, kind of like the Super Bowl versus the Ravens, or not the Ravens, the Rams and the Patriots. It'll be super. I think it'll have to be super low scoring if we want to win that game. And then Tampa Bay versus Seattle. I'm gonna take Seattle. I think their offense is obviously. I think the way that the Seattle play offense is better than Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay's had some games where they looked really, really bad. So hey, that'll be interesting to see. And I do think the Cardinals are also going to upset the New Orleans Saints. So I'm gonna agree with you there. But hey, let's get into some picks now. We're already on this thing. Let's make some picks, bro.
Cool.
No, this is a little different. But hey, we'll do it right here. There are some Saturday games. So hey, first game, Los Angeles versus the Raiders. This is gonna start in about 20 minutes. Who are you taking, bro?
I'm taking the Las Vegas Raiders.
Hey, I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take the Raiders with you, bro. Hey, Chargers always, usually put up a fight, but Raiders need to win, so they're gonna go out and get it. On Saturday, Buffalo versus Denver.
I take Buffalo.
I'm gonna take Buffalo as well. Not too difficult. This one's not too difficult as well. Green Bay versus Carolina.
I'm taking Green Bay.
All right, Tampa Bay and Atlanta.
I'm taking Tampa.
Tampa. I'm gonna take Tampa as well. And then 49ers and Dallas.
I went with San Fran.
All right, I'm gonna take San Fran as well. Detroit and Tennessee.
I went with Tennessee.
I went with Tennessee as well. Houston and the Colts.
I took Indianapolis.
I took Indianapolis as well. A lot of these games, aren't too difficult this week. There's a lot of, pretty easy matchups. Where were we? Miami and New England.
I took Miami.
I took Miami as well. That one could be a close one though. Minnesota and Bears.
I took Minnesota.
I'm gonna take Minnesota as well. I believe I took Minnesota. Yes, I did. Minnesota needs a win. I think they're gonna go get one. And then Seattle and Washington. I think we both know who we're about to pick. I'm gonna pick Washington, of course.
Yeah, I picked Seattle, of course.
So should be a good one, bro. Jacksonville and Baltimore.
I picked Baltimore.
Baltimore as well. Arizona, Philly. I'm taking Philly. Or I'm taking Arizona. Excuse me. I did skip over one game, but
I took Arizona as well.
Rams in New York. I'm obviously taking the Rams.
Rams, yeah.
New Orleans and KC. That could be a good game, but they don't have their quarterback. I'm taking Kansas City all the way. What about you?
KC.
KC. Cleveland and New York. I'm gonna take Cleveland.
Same.
And then Pittsburgh, Cincy. I'm taking Pitt, obviously. Pittsburgh. Okay. So that should be interesting to see how those games kind of play out. But hey, let's get into some fantasy football now. Gotta click it. Hey, we're 1 week through the first round of the playoffs, bro. How you feeling, bro? Let's look at the hostile first.
Yeah.
We'll start off with my game. I almost clicked it. Click the box score. All right, man. So I'm winning. I don't know why it doesn't say
By 100.
No, that was okay. This is weird. Why does it say this? If you can't see it, the score is right here. I'm highlighted with my mouse. It's 173 to 104. I'm winning by about 70 points, a little bit less. This is the projected total at the end of the game. I don't know why it's doing this. It's just because of playoffs, probably. But yeah, very solid first week. Does this say the points? No,
Yeah,
this says
yes.
this says the projected. Let me go here. Oh yeah, this is let's go. I think I have to click this. There we go. So this is his team. As you can see on the right, his team played okay. He really just had two players that scored the majority of his points. And then my team went crazy. One of the best games we've had all year. Kyler Murray, Nick Chubb, Carson, Stephon Diggs had a beast game. Travis Kelce, did his thing. Robinson kind of had his worst game of the year, but, really did solid. So I can't be too mad at him. This doesn't have my defense, but my defense down here in kicker put up 9. Defense also did really well with Dallas. I picked up. So, hey, we're up 70 after the first week. It's looking real good. And now let's go over to your game. You're up by a good amount, too.
I'm up by 50. Russell Wilson did great. Oh, that was Aaron Rodgers. Russell Wilson did okay. He didn't do like amazing, but I mean, I wish he did better. Aaron Jones disappointed me. The running back for the Colts, Jonathan Taylor, he's amazing. That's his second game in a row where he is at 30. Tyreek Hill did his job. AJ Brown did terrible. Noah Fant, he played one snap and he came down with an illness, so he had 0. Justin Jefferson underperformed. Washington defense, man, they came in the clutch with me, man.
Two
They came in the
tutties.
clutch with me. Young Wei Koo, that's probably his worst game of the season right there. 6
Yeah.
points.
Can't even be mad at that man the way he's been putting up numbers.
Exactly, I can't.
Yes, sir. Now let's look at the other league. If I can get to it. This one's really close for me. We're both in the playoffs for this one as well, and mine's hella close. So let's get into it. I kind of got lucky this week. I'm not even gonna lie. He had T&C out. He got lucky though in the fact that Miles Sanders had his first good game in about 5 games, and that's the only reason he's in this game. So it's looking really tough this upcoming week. Lamar Jackson really just came through for me, as well as Tyreek Hill and the Cowboys defense. Michael Thomas, put up some good numbers. Robinson kind of had a little off week, but yeah, man, I'm just really hoping, I can pull this one out. He probably has, one of the best teams in the league, if not the best. So, hey, it'll be tough. This is the next week scoring. We're pretty even. I am projected to win by like 1. So, hey, we'll just hope for the best. See how it goes, man. Let's go over to your matchup.
This is projected to me for win by 30. I just need Jonathan Taylor to do amazing like he did last week versus Houston. Damian Harris, I just need him to perform as well as he did in the past before he got injured. DeAndre Hopkins, I need him to do well versus the Eagles. Cooper Kupp, he's playing the Jets. I need him to have a monster game. Darren Waller plays tonight. Hope he does amazing. Ken Allen will not play. Rams defense did amazing versus Cam Newton, and then Chris Boswell had his worst game of the year. So I don't know about that one.
Yeah, and you still got a solid lead, so I would not be too worried at all. So that'll be interesting. Hey, and if you guys want to see us do a fantasy basketball, I know a lot of people don't keep up with fantasy basketball as much, so we just might do a draft and update it every couple of weeks. But if you guys want to see that, yeah, just let us know. We'll see. I'm not sure about that yet, and we'll see. I think. Hey, is that it?
Yeah, that's it, man.
I don't think we got any breaking news. Harden still is not decided, but I do know the Wizards are losing by 35 or 25 at half, 123 at halftime. But it's preseason. We'll get it out. Russ is still not playing, but hey, he's getting ready for the first game of the season. So we'll see. Hey, that was a good episode, bro. We covered a lot of, good topics. Pretty decent amount. I think it was probably like 45, 50 minutes. Not too crazy long, which is good. I might start breaking them up. Like, I'm not breaking them. Like, I'll post the full thing and then like post certain topics. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So like, if people just want to go to a certain topic, they'll just click the video. I got to
Yeah.
figure out how to do that though, but we'll see. It'll come in due time. As we're learning, because this is only the 13th one, man. So, hey, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, I'm Logan Cross.
I'm Fire Troy.
Sir, hope you all enjoyed. Have a good one. Come back next week for the 14th one. Peace.